Welcome back to Funan's Storybook. It was during the Great War, the War of the Plains, when neighboring kingdoms, driven by the lust for power and resources, descended upon Nyamanda, a peaceful place, and its surrounding villages. The people were not warriors, but farmers and herdsmen, with only crude tools to defend themselves. However, among them was a young man named Kato, who would forever change the course of their history. Kato was a tall, strong man with a heart full of courage. He was known for his deep sense of duty and loyalty to his people. He was a son of Nyamanda, raised on the stories of his ancestors, who had fought to protect the land from many enemies. Kato, though young, carried the same spirit. He had a broad chest, dark eyes full of determination, and hands that could split wood in a single stroke. Yet his greatest strength lay not in his body, but in his will. When the war reached Nyamanda, many fled. But not Kato. He stayed to fight. He rallied the men and women who remained, gathering them near the old mango tree in the center of the village. With a fire in his voice, he spoke to them, "We have lived here all our lives. Our ancestors lie in the soil beneath our feet, and their blood flows in our veins. If we flee, we leave behind everything they fought for. Today, we stand not just for ourselves but for those who came before us." His words lit a flame in the hearts of his people. With makeshift weapons, they joined Kato in defending their village. They fought bravely, using the terrain they knew so well to ambush the enemy, hiding in the tall grasses, striking from behind trees, and using the river to their advantage. But it was not enough. On the third day of the invasion, Kato faced his greatest challenge. A group of well-armed soldiers from the north, mercenaries hired by the enemy kingdom, stormed the village. Kato fought fiercely, his spear clashing against their shields. He moved like a lion, his strikes fast and precise. But fate was cruel that day. In the heat of battle, Kato was struck by an arrow, and as he fell to the ground, a soldier slashed his leg with a sword. The pain was unbearable, but Kato's spirit did not break. Bleeding and barely able to stand, he continued to fight, using his spear as a crutch. His people, seeing their leader wounded but not defeated, rallied around him with renewed vigor. Together, they drove the mercenaries away. When the dust settled, Nyamanda was saved, but Kato lay on the ground, his leg mangled beyond repair. The village healer, Mama Nelly, did everything she could, but the leg had to be amputated to save his life. Kato awoke days later, his body weak but his mind sharp. His leg was gone, but his will to fight remained as strong as ever. The war raged on for many more months, but Kato, now known as Onelegged Kato, became a symbol of resistance. With a wooden leg carved by the village elders, he continued to lead his people. He adapted to his new body, learning to fight with a crutch, using his mind and his strategy to outthink the enemy rather than relying on brute strength. His legend grew across the region, and people from neighboring villages came to Nyamanda to join the fight under his leadership. The war finally ended when the enemy king was defeated in a battle far from Nyamanda. The kingdom that sought to destroy their land fell, and peace was restored. Kato had become a hero not just in his village, but across the plains. Songs were sung about him, and children were told stories of the man who lost his leg but never his heart. But Katos' journey was not over. Though peace had returned, the scars of war were deep. Nyamanda had lost many sons and daughters, and the land itself bore the marks of battle. Kato, now in his late years, walked with a heavier heart than ever. His wooden leg was worn, his body bent from years of fighting and leading his people. One evening, under the light of a blood-red sunset, Kato sat by the riverbank, looking out at the calm waters. His closest friend, Ntemba, sat beside him. They spoke of the past, of battles won and friends lost, of the price of peace. Kato's voice was soft, filled with the wisdom of a man who had seen too much. "The land is quiet now, but the weight of all we've done will never leave me," Ntemba, Kato said, his eyes distant. Ntemba nodded in silence, for he knew his friend carried a burden no man should bear alone. As the night fell and the stars blinked into the sky, Kato grew tired. He closed his eyes, and in that moment, he felt the presence of the ancestors, calling him home. His journey had come to an end. When the people of Nyamanda found him the next morning, he was gone. The village mourned deeply, for they had lost their greatest son. But even in death, Katos' legacy lived on. He was remembered not just as the man who saved Nyamanda, but as a symbol of resilience, of never giving up, no matter the odds. Songs were sung in his honor, and his story was passed down from generation to generation. Though Kato died in peace, the memory of his sacrifices, his courage, and his unyielding spirit echoed through the lands for years to come. He was the one-legged hero of Nyamanda, a man who never gave up, even when the world tried to break him. If you are new, please like and subscribe to our channel, for it will mean a lot to us. Also, drop a nice comment in the comment section below. And if you find this story interesting, you can share it with your friends and family. Please, if you enjoyed the story, don't forget to subscribe and leave a nice comment on what you think about the story.